Good morning and welcome to Immigration Fridays. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Immigration Fridays. Let me know where you're tuning in from, which part of the world, so that I can greet you and see where you are in the world. I am in the heart of England, in Coventry, right in the center. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Please tag a friend, invite someone to come and watch. Good morning, and good morning to everybody who is joining us, and to those who are watching this on replay later on. Greetings to you as well. Thank you for joining in. Please tag a friend and please share this live every Friday. Most Fridays, I don't want to say every, but most Fridays I'm here at 10 and answering questions that people have sent in to us, asking about issues relating to UK immigration. For those who are joining us for the first time or who've just come across this live, my name is Rumbidzai Vunzawabaya. I'm the founder of Tulia, which is an organization that provides advice and support to migrants who are living in the UK or who are migrating to the UK. So we help people from all different walks of life, different types of visas, different situations, but we help migrants who are living in the UK or who are intending to come to the UK. So we support people with advice and other practical types of help that they need, support in this immigration journey. So welcome and thank you very much for joining today. Hope you're having a good morning. Please look onto our website, which is www.tulia.org.uk www.tulia.org.uk. You'll find a lot more information there. Check out on our TikTok page. There's some short videos on there with information and questions. YouTube channel. All of our lives are there as well. So thank you very much for joining us this morning. Today, I'm going to answer the question that I have. And any other questions that you have, please put them in the chat. I may not be able to answer them today, but we'll keep a record of them and be able to answer them another time if I don't get to answer them today. This month is, on the 18th of June is Father's Day. So we've dedicated this month to dealing with issues that are questions that are from men, that relate to fathers, that relate to issues involving fathers. But it's not exclusively for them, because I think those questions and the answers can relate to anybody who is living in the UK. And today's question, I'm going to read it straight away. So thank you everyone for joining. I came on a little bit earlier today, but thank you very much for watching. Please tag a friend. Please put any questions that you have in the chat and please engage with us. Tell us your thoughts as well when I read this question. So the question today is from a father who's a migrant, and he says, my wife and I came to the UK in December 2022 with our 3 children. Sisi, it's been so hard being the dependent on your wife's visa. I have found it hard to get a job, and she is pressurizing me. I was a bank manager in Zimbabwe, and getting into banking is hard. Please help me. What can I do? And we've had variations of this question. So this question is from someone who said, I want you to answer my question live. I've also spoken to them, but they want the question to be answered live because there are many other people in the same situation. So here's a father who is a migrant who has come here with his wife, who is a nurse, and they have 3 children. She's working in a shortage occupation, and she's working in her profession, but he's a banker, and he's finding it hard to get a job in banking. And his age as well, it's middle age, and it's causing pressure in the home. This is so common and such a big issue. And it's not something that has started with the new wave of migrants, but even with our generation of migrants who came here many years ago. It is a big issue of starting to do jobs that maybe you are not qualified, that you're overqualified for, and you can't get into your profession. So it causes pressure in the home. The wife is getting anxious and stressed. The husband is getting frustrated. Money is needed. We're living in there's a cost of living crisis in England, and you need both incomes. It's expensive. So I can understand my mrora being stressed and pressurizing a husband with you've got to work, and him saying, but I don't want to do R&R. So R&R is rese, all types of job, whatever job. So what would I advise somebody who comes, and what advice would you give them as well? Because I think we've all got to work together. What advice would you give? So for me, I would say, if you're wanting to get into banking, be strategic in how you apply for your jobs. Try and spread out your CVs everywhere. Look for specialist recruitment consultants who specialize in your sector. Go on to LinkedIn and look for other people in banking. Speak to them, because the people who are coming to the UK now are in a better position than what we were like, because when we came, there were not many people who were working in all different various sectors. But now there's people who are working in banking, in finance, in engineering, in all management consultancy, all different types of professions. So to my brother who's asked the question that I'm struggling, so we'll speak about the first thing, that you want to get into a certain job. So definitely search for those jobs, apply for them, even look for entry-level positions so that you just get in. Look for organizations or agencies that provide contract work. So you might not get a permanent job, but you could get a temporary job where you're able to get into your profession and build onto your confidence from there. But at the same time, don't stop. You need money. Your wife is stressed. The question, the wife is saying, I'm stressed. Look for any job to get an income. Now we live in a time when you can even work from home. You can do work online. You can do anything that is there, that is available. You can work in Amazon at night. You can drive and deliver parcels. You can do gardening. You can do anything to bring food to the table and to support the family and to help each other to be able to survive and live. Because the bills, they need to be paid. Thank you, Eve. So R&R, anything, any work is work. It's something that is there. You know, when we started living here in England, when we first came we arrived in Peckham, and I think those principles are still the same. I came from a lawyer from Zimbabwe, and initially I thought I would just land up in a law firm in Canary Wharf. That's what I thought. But initially I didn't even know the system. We didn't even have internet like we have it now. This was 20 odd years ago. So we had to survive. And I remember the first job that my husband, Michada, and I did was delivering leaflets, because we realized that we need money. If we want to go and look for a job, we need to pay for the tube. And you know, London is expensive. So we got R&R and we delivered leaflets. Like seriously, we walked around delivering leaflets, and we were quite young when we came here, and it was cold. And I'll never forget it. We were walking around together, delivering my leaflets, delivering them. And then we had so many left, and it was dark. And you know what? I confess to whoever I was delivering leaflets for, we threw the balance in the bin because we were tired. Now we were cold. And we said, these leaflets, we threw them away because we were so tired. And then we just went home. So we were given a batch, we delivered, but we had to. I plaited hair. My husband was a cleaner, a kitchen porter, a carer. We did whatever we had to do to survive, to pay our bills, to be able to settle. But we never gave up on our dreams. So we knew that eventually we wanted to get into law. So it took time. Yeah? It took time. It took research into the sector. It took getting in by any way necessary. For me, it took working for I worked for this law firm where I used to go and lock myself in the toilet. It was in Telford. I'll never forget it. I faced so much racism, so much discrimination. I used to go and lock myself in the toilet to cry, because it was the worst experience I ever had in my life. But I worked there, I left, I went to the next place, and eventually I was able to get in through an agency. So to my brother who's asked the question, today I'm answering a question from a father of 3 who came here in December. It's been about 6 months in England. He wants to get into banking. He was a bank manager at home and with a company car and a nice life. But he wants to get into the same sector here, but he's not getting in. And the wife is saying, husband, please, the bills are piling up. I need you to step up. So my advice has been so far to say, do anything that brings you income into the home, because you need to survive. You need to pay the bills. You need to work. But at the same time, don't forget your goal. And I think one of the things that I'm constantly saying to people is that give yourself time. Give yourself time. You know, your immediate needs are shelter, food. Those are the immediate needs that you have. So you need to be able to get income, to be able to settle, to buy the children beds, to buy a car, to have the internet, to have your computers, to buy the clothes, to acculturate, to just settle. So if you're doing delivery, Uber driver, if you're doing Deliveroo driver, if you're doing Amazon warehouse work, care work, anything, factory work, Tesco work, it doesn't matter. What you need is the money for now. But at the same time, you are then applying to Jersey, Channel Islands. Thank you, Bongi. You are going on to LinkedIn. You're looking for other people in the sector. You are actively searching on LinkedIn. You are there. You've got your profile and you're looking for other people in the sector. You're looking for recruitment consultants that specialize in your field, in your sector, and asking them, how can I position myself? You know, get feedback, get help with your CV, get help with your applications. Proactively look for people who are in your field. If you are in banking, you're not going to get advice from somebody who is in nursing. You're not going to get advice for banking from someone who's not in that sector. So it's important for you to network, to position yourself well in the field. So there's two things. There's your immediate needs, which need to be met. And then there's your goals that you're aspiring for. So you need to look for those jobs, and be proactive in it and look for people in that sector. And don't be afraid to even go and work in the Channel Islands. Don't be afraid to do whatever you need to do to get where you need to get to. And give yourself time. Allow yourself, if you go for an interview, if you reach interview stage and you are knocked back, ask for feedback. Improve. And keep pushing. And don't give up. Don't listen to lies. Because people will tell you, there's no jobs. If you're a black man, you're not going to get a job in banking. That's not true. That is a lie. You are good enough. You are worthy and you have your place. But it might just take you a little bit longer to get there because you're coming into a new sector. When I came here to England, I had my qualification from Zimbabwe and I was told that law degree of yours, you better throw it in the bin because you're not going to use it in this country. But who started a law firm at 32? Me. Who has helped thousands of people with legal advice in this country? Me. The same person who was told that pack away your suitcase, pack away your certificate because England is Mayenzanise and you're not going to be a lawyer in this country. And I said, get behind me. No, that's not me. And I was able to get there. But I had to do anything. I've worked in a care home. I've worked in a factory. I have worked in a fridge, minus temperatures. I have done nursing as a way to get my status. I've delivered leaflets. I've plaited hair. I've done whatever I needed to do to survive and to get where I need to get to. But I never gave up on being a solicitor. I remember studying for my exams, using the money that I got from care to pay for the exams so that I could convert my qualifications. I was using that money. I was studying at night, working and studying because I had a goal and a dream. So when you are coming here, male or female, you know your dream, but you've got your temporary needs that you need. So I know a lot of women are frustrated with some guys who say, I had an office job and because I had an office job, I don't want to do anything. No. You still need to be able to do whatever you need to do to work and then continue pursuing where you want to get to. And sometimes you might need to go for interviews during the day, so it's difficult for you to balance that off. But look for work where you can work nights. Look for work where you can be a bit more flexible. Work with agencies. Do work that allows you to do both, so that you can look for the job in banking and at the same time you can feed your family. Whatever sector, engineering, accounts. Don't be afraid to say, there's no jobs for us. No, there's a place for you. And you just have to be able to find it, but also know where to find what you're looking for. Know where to look for IT, people with IT skills, people in those sectors. Go onto LinkedIn. That's where you should go and play and find people in your sector and communicate with them, find other people in the sector who are from the country of origin that you're in. There's like organizations for engineers. There's organizations for people in accountants. There's actually an accountants association and they really help each other. Zimbabwe Accountants Association. There is people in finance. So speak to them. get advice, and you will get there. Don't give up. There's people in law. We've actually got a group, and I know my colleague Andrew Nyamayaro, he's been helping a lot of new lawyers who are coming to help them of how to get into the field. But one thing I'll say is, you're not going to get to your goal straight away. You're going to have to work and go through a process. But sometimes it may mean you might have to volunteer somewhere for 2 days a week and then work the other days so that you get UK experience and you put your foot in through the door. So you might have to do a little bit of volunteering, even doing a job as a receptionist, anything to get in through the door, or administrative work, other work that you need to be able to get your foot in and to learn the system, and then you're in. So it's getting in. How you get in? Just get in, Chet. You just need to get in. And then once you're in, you navigate your way. But some jobs you might get in at the level that you want to be in. Praise God, good for you. And so, depending on your experience, depending on your skill, depending on what areas are being looked for. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that has answered the question that I've been answering today. It's about a man who is struggling to get into his sector, who's struggling to get into his field, and he's becoming quite discouraged. His wife is stressed because she's paying the bills by herself. And guys, another thing about here, perhaps not to do with immigration and the law, but everyone has to chip in. So I know I've had questions from wives who are saying, I'm working, I'm the one with the visa, I'm a nurse, he's my dependent, we've got the kids, but he still expects me kuti ndava kubasa when I've come back from night at work at 10 p.m. I come home, it's chaos, nothing has been cleaned, nothing has been done, the children haven't even eaten, and it's chaos. And she starts at night to do the work. We have to work together. We have to work together. I don't like using the word you have to help, because no one is getting helped. It's no one's responsibility. It's our responsibility. I think that's one thing that I often say even to my boys. They'll say we're helping our daughter Tasha, and I say, you're not helping her. You're doing your part. All of us, we have to work, because this house is our house. We are all living here. So we all have a responsibility to keep the house clean. We all have a responsibility, because if we said it's my duty, but it's also my duty to go to work, it's also my duty to pay the bills, how can it be one person has got all of these duties and everybody is helping? No. We are all working together as a team. So it's one thing that is so important, even from the question that we've received, that his wife is pressurized about the bills, because we've got to work together, because it's expensive. So we can't depend on one person to do everything. So it's important to be able, and 1 month, the bills don't stop because somebody's looking for the perfect job. The bills keep coming. The responsibility keeps coming. So we have to balance the two whilst we're still looking, but we're being responsible and doing the things that we need to do. So, I hope that has answered the question. Nursing assistant jobs, they are there as well. I've got here somebody, Pamela, thank you for your comment. You've said, I came as a dependent last year, worked as a support worker, but now I got a hybrid job. So it's wise to just start from somewhere, one day at a time. Thank you, Pamela Ndlovu. I couldn't have said it better. And congratulations on your job that you have. Congratulations. And you started where you were, and take one step at a time, one day at a time. Be patient, give yourself grace, and keep going. So thank you very much for sharing that. I'm going to answer this other question here, John, from Pastor John Luke. How are you? If one is on a 10-year family visa, after how many years can they apply for indefinite leave within that period? So they can apply for indefinite leave to remain after 10 years. So they have to complete the full 10 years of lawful residence on the family life visa and then apply. And what's important is to understand that the 10 years is continuous residence. So there should be no gaps in there in terms of overstaying or being late in applying for an extension. So the 10 years is a continuous period of 10 years. So that's the period. But when you're on a COS, it's 5 years. And I think that's an issue that is quite contentious in our sector at the moment, that people on the family life route, it's 10 years to settlement. So it's a punishment. Most people on the 10-year, it's a punishment because some would have been, at some point would have overstayed. So the government have said, no, you've got to work for 10 years to get your indefinite. People who've been here in the UK for 20 years, they have to start counting the 10 years from the end of 20. So it's 30 years until they get their indefinite leave to remain. So yeah, so I hope that's clear. But yeah, it's 10 years. Thank you for asking that question. Indefinite leave to remain rules haven't changed. I'm not sure why you've asked that, but we're talking about the 10-year family route, whereas other people who are on the skilled worker route, it is 5 years to indefinite leave to remain. So that is great. I've got 6 more minutes here. I'm just going to check if there's any. Kundai has asked, can I bring my 19-year-old as a dependent? He's still under my care. How can I do this? What do I need? Or it's impossible. It's very difficult to bring a 19-year-old where there's no special compassionate circumstances. It's very difficult. So I would say just get advice. I don't personally take on a lot of cases for over 18 children because the refusal rates are very high. So I like to try and keep my refusal, our grant, like our rates of success, we try to keep them high. So we don't take cases that we know are not going to succeed. So we don't generally take over 18 cases because we haven't experienced really good success rates across the board. So it's not because of us, it's because of the rules. But where there's compassionate grounds or where there's compelling circumstances, we can take a case on. But each case is dependent on its merits. We encourage parents to look for other ways if they want their children to come and live with them here. So student visas, other routes of entry. So that's the advice that we usually give. But we're quite picky about the cases that we take because we don't want cases that will lose. Environmental job, I can't say whether it's easy. I wouldn't want to say it's easy because I don't know whether it's easy or not, but they are there. And with globalization and everything that's there, I'm sure there are a lot of jobs in the sector to do with the environment, but I don't really know how to get them. And I think it's just searching, looking for vacancies in your sector, Googling, going on to LinkedIn, looking for specialist agencies that deal with environmental type jobs, environmental health officers. I've met someone who's an environmental health officer. So look for those type of jobs with the council, with other organizations, and I'm sure they're there. It's basically just finding the right jobs in the right sector. Is it easy to apply for a student visa? Yeah, yes, it is. A student visa, it's not difficult to get it. You need to find the place at the university and have the fees for the first year. So for student visas, it's your money, the English, and that's mainly what's needed. So a student visa is quite easy to get. It's the money. I think that might be difficult. Right. That is good. That's good. I think I've answered the questions. Fahana and Tanaka and the team and Tendai and everyone, is there any questions that are there that are on the other page, perhaps that I haven't answered? If you could send them to me, that would be great. So that I can answer any questions just on the last 3 minutes that we've got this morning. Yes, Queen Nankoma, you asked if someone can get a visitor's visa after they've overstayed. Yes, they can. In their last visa, which was 2006. So that's quite a long time ago. They need to declare it, but they still need to show reasons why they will go back. So a visitor's visa, you have to demonstrate that you will go back. You will go back. So, yeah. So I've got a question here from one of the other pages. It says, my question is that I was given 60 days. It's from Grace Dube. I was given 60 days to look for another job, and I got one last week, but my visa will expire on 12 June next week. I'm waiting for my COS from my new company. What must I do that I'm not found on the wrong side of the law? 12 June. You've still got time. Wait until 12 June. It's so fine. We had someone whose visa was expiring on, I think it was this Monday, but the COS they came yesterday. So literally yesterday they could apply for their visa. So what I would say is, if you find that you've reached the 12th of June, and your visa hasn't come out, if your company, your COS hasn't come out, and the company is still willing to even process your visa from abroad, they'll have to apply for a new COS that you can use from out of the country, and then you can exit and then come back. You do have a grace period of 14 days from when your new date of exit is. So you've got a little bit of a grace period. But I would probably, if you find that your time is running out, don't overstay. Don't do what we did in our generation. We overstayed and so many people overstayed. So what I would say is, if you can afford it, exit, speak to the company, and then you can come back rather than overstaying, because you can find yourself going through a cycle now. But if they've applied for a COS, push. And then you've got that little grace period of 14 days after the end of the 60 days. And have you received that letter, Grace Duve? Have you already got the letter from the Home Office that's got the 60 days, and is the end date the 12th? Or have you calculated your own 60 days from when you left the job? Please make sure of that, to make sure that it's the right date. Yeah. I hope that's helpful. Thank you everyone for joining. I will answer one last question before I go. I made a mistake on the application form. I used the UK address instead of Zimbabwean address, as the person is still home. Is there a quick way to get a refund? You can cancel the visa, the application, but I would instead write to the Home Office to clarify, to say that you made a mistake, because it can become complicated. So I would probably just book in a 15-minute consultation with us. We've got a link on there for quick 15-minute consultations. I know we most of our slots for June have gone, but sometimes people cancel. So if you try, they could be, because they don't need the advice anymore. Try and book on a 15-minute call, and we can just try and see if there's a way around that, because maybe it's better for you not to cancel that. My friend resigned after bad treatment. She hasn't received anything from Home Office. Is it okay to just stay and wait for the Home Office? So yes, keep looking for new employment, and the Home Office will write to you. And they have said, because we've written to them for some people asking for the letters, and the Home Office have said they've got so many, so they're processing them a bit slowly. So yeah, please, she must look for a job. I don't know. Jonah Morris, I don't know why some people are still recruiting when they've over-recruited and they don't have hours. It's not good, but they're still doing it. And it causes problems for the people when they're here and they're not working and they're not able to support themselves. So I can't answer that question because I don't know. Yes, you can switch from partner visa to skilled visa. Yes, you can do that. Tasha Fix, who's asking me, how can you reach me for job vacancies? No, I'm a lawyer, and I don't, at the beginning when the COSs came, I think we were all excited. I was so busy matching people with sponsors, but it became a lot of work. So, I generally just don't do it. So I would just advise you to just look back on some of the videos and see how to apply for jobs. I don't match people with jobs. That's not what I do. I advise people on the law. I'm not a recruitment consultant. Yeah. So we've got our contact information is in the chat. Contact us via our website. I don't generally answer a lot of calls because I can end up getting distracted and not being able to work. So if you phone, you most likely won't get me. Phone the office. We'll advise you to book a slot. We have slots on Tuesday, which are 15-minute slots of free advice. But we also have paid for service, which is where we have more slots. And also, if you send us emails, we can respond, but we do take time to respond because we have many. So we're not able to respond instantly. We're a small team and we cannot cope, like responding instantly. So managing your expectations, to manage your expectations, we can't do that. We don't have the capacity to do that. So we do what we can. And so that's why we have these Fridays where we answer common questions, because getting to just speak to me on the phone to ask me questions is something that I don't have, the capacity to do, because we have to do the work. We have to do the work that we're doing, so many things that we do. So, if you book in the slot, we've got some, answers to commonly. I think I'm tired because now I'm talking nonsense. If you want to get an advice session, we do have a link on our website, and in the chat, there'll be a link there for you to book. Go onto our website, tulia.org.uk, and you can book in, send an email, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as we can. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for watching. I hope I've been able to answer some questions and give some clarity for some people. Have an absolutely wonderful, wonderful, weekend. And thank you very much, Fahana, for joining. And thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. This weekend, we'll be out in Coventry City Centre, Refugee Week, but also it's a Go weekend at our church. So we're going to be out with other organizations who are working with migrants in our city of Coventry. So we're going to be out tomorrow. If you are out and about in Coventry, come and say hello to us. So thank you so much for joining, and have an absolutely fantastic weekend. And thank you to everyone who sent messages of congratulations for our 25th wedding anniversary that my husband Michada and I were celebrating. And thank you so much for that. Thank you to everyone who joined the live that I had with Tino, our firstborn, on absent fathers and lots of other issues that we were discussing around that topic. It was really insightful, and thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Be blessed and have a great weekend. Thank you, Kelly. Thanks, Josie. Thank you, Pearl. Bye-bye.